Hi everybody, welcome to Stacy's Art Studio and Gardens vlog for November 2019. I know, a good deal of November's already passed and I haven't gotten to the vlog, I'm sorry. It's been, October was crazy. It was full of so many exciting things, happy things, fun things, and some tragic things. So it just really took a lot out of me and I needed a little time to rest. So I did. And that's what everyone should do. We should all take our little bit of time to rest when we need it. But I am here in the studio, and as you can see, some things have changed. I've got a little fireplace on my wall. That was in our master bedroom, and we've decided to put it out here. I really like it. I think it'll be a great addition for this winter. The rest of the studio, however, is quite a wreck, so I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But first of all, in October, as far as painting goes and the art studio, I didn't actually get to sit at the easel at all in October, which is a first for me, actually, since I started running the business. I've never had a whole month go by where I wasn't able to actually do any painting, but that's the way it goes. We had some really cool, fun things going on. The balloon fiesta. I hope you enjoyed the videos I put up. And because we went to one night of the balloon glow, but I got a lot of really fun videos. So that I really enjoyed that. Hubby and I went. We had a date night, I guess you could call it. And then my mom came to visit, which was super fun. We did a bunch of stuff. And then the kiddo had a lot of appointments, but he's doing fine. He's just, kind of staying steady. And let's see, hubby and I got to go to Ojo Caliente, the hot springs and spa, for one day. And we're going to be going again in November, which I'm really looking forward to. That was definitely a great respite. And I try to get away there during the fall and winter because I like the cold weather and then getting in the hot springs. Personally, that works for me. In the summer when it's hot, I don't enjoy getting in the hot springs. So we try to get away a little bit in the fall and winter to Ojo. It's one of our places that is a wonderful getaway. I recommend it to anybody. And let's see, and then we had some really sad things happen in October. We had some deaths, extended friends and so on, and so that was another thing that took up quite a bit of our time. So it was a very strange month. We had a lot of exciting things and some really difficult things to deal with. So that is why I didn't get to the easel in October. But I did get the one piece sold, the one called Contentment. I just put it up on Instagram the other day so you could see it, and it's off to its new home, and I named it Contentment because I just thought that's a really good name for it, because it seemed, most of my work I try to have a real peaceful, easy contentment, cozy feeling, and so that was the name I decided to go with that. But I never did get to finding a poem for it because, one thing, I was super busy, and also it sold before I was even ready to put it up for sale, so, which is always very exciting. Any artist loves that to happen, so I was pleased to have it go to its new home, which is great. So that's about it as far as the art world goes in October. This month I have been able to work a little bit on my piece that has all the clouds and the red mountains. I am now waiting for it to dry a little bit. It does take a much longer time to cure using oils. I use the oils that are water-based with this one. And it's, taking a little time to dry, but I have discovered I really enjoy working on the pieces with oil, so I'm kind of like in a transition period as well. The other piece that I've been working on for a couple of several months for my friends that got married. I think it'll be ready for them for their year anniversary, to be honest. Because I'm transitioning, I think I'm going to be transitioning into some oil in that one, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't worked on it yet, because I'm waiting for the other pieces to dry, to see how they dry and what they do with these different paints that I've started to use. So that's why that one's kind of been put on the back burner for a little bit, because I don't want to damage what I've already done, and I actually think it will improve it greatly by putting some oil on it. So that'll be real interesting to do. And then, you know, if I ruin it, I'll just do another piece for them. These things happen, that's how it works. But hopefully I won't, because I put a lot of work into that. So that's about it as far as the art world goes. The gardens, my goodness, I hope you enjoyed the videos through the summer, because now things are pretty much done out in the gardens. But in New Mexico, the funny thing is, you know, we'll get super cold weather, and then we'll get lovely, you know, mild temperatures. Like yesterday was lovely. It was in the 60s, and you know, for a short period of time, for the sun, you know, around noon to when the sun goes down in the afternoon. So it was nice and lovely, and then it gets super cold again. So that's why things don't grow, you know, really well. Even though we have mild temperatures, we have really cold variation of temperatures. So I got in, let's see, I don't think you can't see it. Okay, I'll do a video later. I don't want to get up and move the camera, but I did bring in my coleuses, some of them. I couldn't fit all of them into the house, so I lost a couple of coleus outside, but that's okay. I can repot them in the spring. The trees are losing their leaves. We didn't get a brilliant fall this year because it froze early, and most of my trees have not turned color. My little peach tree did before it got super cold. But the big peach tree didn't, and even my aspens didn't. So they're just losing their leaves instead of turning brilliant. Some of the cottonwood down by the river were bright, which is nice, and a few of the maples that are around, they look good. But many of the trees just froze and lost their leaves, so it wasn't a super brilliant fall. I find fall to be my absolute favorite time, but then I'm always so disappointed about how short it is. I always complain every year. It doesn't matter what kind of year we have, it's never long enough for me. So now we're in the colder weather, and I'm doing a few things around the garden. I did finish the corner up in the front garden in the desert, what am I calling it? The desert cottage, the cottage desert garden. And it really looks nice, and the grass that I put in last month looks really good. And I have changed my mind once again. I do that a lot. I had planted a trumpet vine because I wanted it to grow up over the trellises that I built. But one of the things I didn't realize, I really thought it stayed green all year for some reason. I don't know. I must have been looking at a different vine that I saw along the roads, but everybody's has turned brown, and I really just don't want a dead brown vine hanging on the side of my house. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out, and I've decided not to put any kind of vine in. I would put ivy because it stays green all year, but I don't want it attaching to the brick and damaging the brick on the house. So I'm just not going to put a vine in. I'm going to just keep putting my sunflowers in the summer, and they look beautiful, and the trellises help them. And then after I get the German schmear done on the house, then it's all going to look really quite nice. So I'm not going to worry about that. So I'm going to take that one out. I haven't lost anything, though, so far, so we'll just see how that goes. We'll keep hoping. And in the back is the one that I have the most stuff to do that I have on my plan. But I am taking a pause because we are now going to go into some major changes in the master bedroom. So let me tell you about the mouse invasion. That also happened in October. which, that's actually a normal time for mice to try to get into the house because it's fall. But this year, I don't know what happened. We thought we had like one mouse, and we ended up with over 12 that we were able to get out of the house. And so I wrote a little piece on Instagram and Facebook about how we had been invaded by a horde of ninja warrior mice, because that's what it felt like. And they did quite a bit of damage to my closet. They damaged quite a bit of the clothing. I had to get rid of a lot of stuff, and I had to scrub down the walls, and I repainted. And I had, meant to paint that when we moved in, but I've just been so busy I hadn't gotten to it. So in a way, it's good. I got forced to do it, and I absolutely love it. And I'll do a video tour. I did some pictures of it, but I'll do a little video tour of it. And then there was a bit of damage in the bathroom, so I went ahead and painted that. I cleaned it and painted it. And again, that's another room I meant to do, but I never got to it. And it's really lovely now. It's nice and bright, and so I'll do a video of that for you. And then they got into the master bedroom, and in the master bedroom, that's the only place that we still have carpeting in the home. Let me back up and explain a little bit. As I've talked about, people who have get sick from petrochemicals, like my son. When we bought the house, we bought it because we knew it had the right floor plan, but it did have some issues with it that wouldn't allow our son to move in right away. He wasn't able to move in for about a month. So we had to extend where we were living while we worked on here. Even though the home was in good shape, it was had carpet in the rooms that were on the side where the kiddo was going to be living. And there had been a smoker in the home and had used one of those rooms as where he smoked. So what we did is we pulled all the carpets out. And it's interesting how the walls and even the floors absorb odors and chemicals. So the carpets were full of chemicals trying to cover over the fact that there was some smoking there. And so taking them out, of course, helps, but then the cement also absorbs some of that, and so do the walls. So we had to open up the place and let it air for a few weeks, and also clean the floors and the walls, and then seal the floors and the walls before the kiddo was able to move in. On our side of the house, the only room that had carpeting was the master, and because that was far enough away from him, we decided that that wouldn't be an urgent thing to do, so we left it and thought it would take, in a few years we could go ahead and replace it. Well, it's been 3 years now, and the mice got in and started causing damage to the rug along the edges of the walls, so it's time for it to go. So, and in that process, it's pretty big because I had done quite a bit of work in the master bedroom just to make it nice for the few years that I knew we would be without changing that carpet out and doing different things. So I had put up that fake brick and things, and I really liked that, but my husband didn't really. It wasn't his favorite thing. So he does, however, love the shiplap that I did on the fireplace wall. So I'm now replacing that fake brick wall with fake shiplap. And it's going pretty well. We've gotten quite a bit done. And I'll be doing videos about that as we go. And let's see, that's about all that's going on. I wanted to answer some questions that are pretty common that we get about chemical sensitivities. And I think the biggest one is many people are surprised when we have pets in the home, but pets are all natural. So I always like to point out that the only thing he's allergic to or has, it's like an industrial allergy, is anything that has petrochemicals in it. Nothing natural except for mold is he allergic to. So the dogs and the cats are actually very comforting and are not a problem at all. Now, if you are, you have chemical sensitivities and you're allergic to natural things, then that's different. But he is not. And so we have pets in the home. Also, sometimes we smell like we have floral things on us, and we do. We have essential oils. And essential oils are all natural, so they don't bother him at all. In fact, we use them quite a lot. We have diffusers everywhere. We use them for all sorts of reasons. And we use them on our skin with a carrier oil or in lotions. I make my own lotions, as you know, and other things, because one of the things my issue was when I realized we had to get rid of chemicals in the home is I love beautiful smelling things. And so I wasn't willing to give that up. When I was a kid, and I went through that with my dad, we gave up everything. We didn't have anything to replace that with. So when the kiddos started getting sick with the chemical issues, I was really did not want to give up the pretty smelling stuff. So that's why I did a deep search and started figuring out how to use essential oils, because I love good smelling stuff. And now that I have been without the chemical stuff, when I'm in a room where people have regular perfume on, I smell the chemical part of the perfume. I no longer smell the pretty part of the perfume. And that's just because I don't have it, and my nose is no longer smelling the masking odor anymore. It is able to smell the chemical part. And so I really am so grateful for essential oils. The other thing is essential oils can be a little bit confusing, as far as sometimes you'll see something called an absolute, which is not an essential oil, but it is with essential oils. That is an essential oil that has been processed with petrochemicals or solvent, so it's no longer natural. And so we stay away from those. And then many of the other questions are things that surprises a lot of people, in that how many things the petrochemicals are in. And so, you know, it's in laundry detergents, and even the ones that are unscented will have some kind of a masking thing in it, because they don't want you to smell all the chemicals that are in it. So sometimes that's not even really healthy or effective for us. I'm not picking on anyone else, because everyone has their different levels of what they can cope with and what they can't with. The biggest ones that are the hardest for him to breathe are the dryer sheets. They're really bad, and that's because they are built with a glue inside of them so that they'll stick to the fabric. And they're very hard to dissipate. The other one is Febreze, because it is also developed in a scientific way so that it does not dissipate when oxygen or air hits it. It takes a very, very long time to break down. And so that's why it's effective as a long-lasting odor. But for us, that's really super dangerous. And also bleach is another super dangerous product. And then other things vary, you know, that aren't too bad but are super bad. You know, any kind of fragrance and perfumes are pretty tough. Even in deodorants, there's fragrances. And I think my biggest pet peeve is going into a natural store and looking for natural products, and they have almost everything natural, but then there's a fragrance in their list of ingredients, which makes it no longer natural. So those are just a few of the things that we encounter, you know, on a daily basis, and also some of the questions we get. The biggest one is about the, you know, the pets, and it's funny. A lot of people will say, "Well, at our house we have pets, so I don't know," and that's fine, but it's usually something they don't realize that would bother him, like a candle sitting somewhere, or even just cleaning products, or something they put in their carpet. And like I said, a lot of things you'll think are natural, but there's a fragrance in it. So because fragrances are made with petrochemicals, it's no longer natural. So those are some of the different challenges we face for that, and hopefully those kind of questions that you have were answered. And if you have any other kind of questions, let me know, and I'm happy to answer them. So November is going to be super busy. I'm hoping I can paint, but it's not as bad as, October already. It's already better, and I've had some time to recover and rest, so that's good. And I'm looking forward to a day getaway to Ojo Caliente, and hopefully we will have I think the bedroom's going to take a couple of months actually to complete. I'm working on it now, and but I'll share the progress on that and share what's going on in the art studio, and I hope you're all having a wonderful month out there, and try to stay warm because it's getting chilly. Bye guys.